welcome back to another episode of the Tech Talks Daily podcast. I'm your host, Neil C. Hughes, and I'm going to be bringing you fascinating conversation again today with a leading figure in the world of technology, business, and digital innovation. Because today I'm honoured to have with us a renowned guest. His name is Eric Lamarre. He's a senior partner at the McKinsey and Company, where he leads McKinsey Digital in North America. And Eric has been instrumental in shaping the company's approach to digital and AI transformations. And with that comes a wealth of knowledge and experience that we're going to be hearing more about today, because our discussion is going to revolve around the new wave of generative AI. Yes, I know we have to mention it in every episode, but let's be honest, it's all every business is talking about right now. And funnily enough, I had a conversation with a client earlier, and they were saying, we need an AI story. So I know there's a lot of excitement, but I want to go beyond that and the real value that this technology is offering, and also the development of talent roadmaps, because yes, technology is important, but so is the human talent that brings it all to life. And also, alongside that, I also want to explore the agility of operating models and the principles of building distributed technology environments, embedding data effectively everywhere, and unlocking the full value of digital solutions in every single tech project. Now, Eric is one of the authors of the book Rewired, the McKinsey Guide to Outcompeting in the Age of Digital and AI. And that serves as a comprehensive playbook for digital transformation. So I want to learn more about that too. But that means we've got a lot to talk about. And I've probably talked too much already. So it's time to get today's guest on. So buckle up and hold on tight as I beam your ears all the way stateside, where Eric is waiting to share his story and insights around the critical aspects of digital transformation and how businesses can outcompete in this digital age. So a massive warm welcome to the show, Eric. Can you tell everyone listening a little about your role at McKinsey and perhaps explain how your leadership teams build their digital and AI capabilities, just to set the scene for our conversation today?
Awesome. Well, nice being here, Neil, with you. So I'm a senior partner with the firm. I've been at McKinsey for the last 29 years. I specialize in the area of digital and AI. And we have a very large group. Now, this is a very important element of our global activity. Probably 50% of our work at McKinsey globally is in this space. And we have built this capability. Frankly, it's been a 25-year journey. I remember when I joined the firm, we were just starting out in the world of advisory for CIOs. And 10 years ago, we made a very important pivot. We said that we're not only going to be advisory, we're also going to be in the delivery of technology solutions. So we built a capability to deliver end-to-end solutions in the AI space or digital space for clients.
Well, it's a pleasure to have you on the podcast today. I've been fortunate to go to the US 5-6 times already this year. Every tech conference, all anyone's talking about is generative AI. It is emerging as a significant trend in the tech industry, and businesses are starting to think about, hey, what's my AI story? So can you discuss how companies are incorporating this trend into their business models from what you've been seeing?
Well, for sure, there is a lot of buzz right now around Gen AI, and I would say for anybody that has tried the technology, it's a little bit magical. Huh? It's pretty, so it does feel real, and it doesn't take a long time when you play around with it to say, oh, yeah, I could see what I could do with this. So I think it's buzz, but it's a warranted buzz. But this is not a movie that just started. At least at enterprise scale, I would put maybe a 5-year label on that. And companies have been seriously deploying AI to run their operations. And then digital, I'll put another label on that 10-year journey. Banks were early in that regard some times ago. And so this is not an entirely new aspect that's happening now, and something, frankly, and this is one of the elements that we feel strongly about. Executives today will be doing this for the rest of their careers. Mm. Okay, we're gonna all be doing this for the next 20 years. What is this? Embedding the use of data, the use of AI, the use of digital technologies inside all aspects of how we run any business. in the sales area, in the supply chain area, in the operations area, in the compliance area, whatever it is, each people that is leading an important area of a business will be embedding technology in the area so that they can serve their customer better, lower their unit costs, and run all of this. So everybody's, the short answer to your question, everybody's thinking about how they're going to do that. And that is almost the beauty of the disruption we're in. It's not a 3-month disruption. We've been at this for 10 years, but it's going to continue for the next 20.
And a phrase that I've heard you mention before is the transformation roadmap. So can you elaborate on that, what it means, and also how businesses can align their leadership teams on an almost North Star vision that helps them reimagine their operations with these emerging technologies?
Yeah, Neil, that's almost, if I was to say, what is the most important point in this book, you hit on it.
Yeah.
And so it's this realization by a top team that digital and AI is not going to be somebody else in the organization that's going to come and do that for them, IT traditionally. It's actually them as business leaders who are going to need to reinvent how their different areas of the business activity that they lead is going to get reinvented. And so there is a very important first step on this journey, and a step, frankly, that needs to be revisited, which is, where are we going to focus our efforts? And what exactly are we going to transform? Not a lofty vision that says, oh, we're going to be digital in 10 years from now, and but no one really knows what that means. No. In the way that we sell, in the way that we manufacture, how are we going to change these processes so that they are embedded with data, they are embedded with AI, and they run a lot better? The creation of that vision, and then what comes with it, the business case, the investments, the kind of talent that I need to make it happen, all needs to be tied up at the beginning. So often I find that top team jump too quickly to, let's develop an app. And let's quickly develop, so what we call the shiny toy. Develop an app, show some success, yes, but nothing has been deeply thought through in how they're going to transform the business. So that alignment up front by the top team is first most important step.
And of course, AI and technology, that's what gets all the headlines and fills our news feeds. But of course, human talent, that is the crucial aspect of any business transformation. So can you shed some light on how companies can develop a talent roadmap that aligns with those digital goals and helps them build an organization that both hires and nurtures that top talent too?
Yeah. Many companies would tell me in the very first conversations I would have with them, they would say, oh, we're not going to be able to attract the talent that we need to do that. We're just a normal company. We're not Google, we're not Amazon. How the hell are we going to do this? And we know by now, because enough companies, we've been 10 years at this. I mean, some have been 10 years at this. Companies are able to build normal companies, regular companies, a regular bank, a regular retailer, a regular mining company is able to build a high quality bench of digital talent. And they do that because they have interesting problems to work on, problems that are critical in their industry, and they're committed to technology excellence. What does that mean? If you come and join us, dear candidate, you will be working in a modern technology environment with modern tools, and you're not going to be regretting your previous job where you learn all these things, because you're going to continue to learn here. So this commitment to doing technology the modern way is very important to attract anybody. Otherwise, because imagine if you're in their shoes, Neil, you're a data engineer, you're a data scientist. What you have that's valuable is your craft. And if you join an organization where your craft gets diminished because they're not using modern tools, modern ways of working, then you will not stay very long and the company will not be able to attract. So commitment to using modern ways of working, modern tools, and having interesting problems to solve. And when you have that, people will come. Not everybody wants to work in Silicon Valley.
And I think every business is also challenged with adapting and evolving with the pace of technological change. So with regards to operating model agility, is there any advice that you can offer to any business leader that could be listening anywhere in the world on choosing and implementing the most effective operating models?
Yes. I think that's a question that becomes very much early on center stage when companies go down this journey, right? Because at the most fundamental level, we know by now, no one is debating this, that small teams, 5 to 10 people, cross-functional in its capability, that is, they have all the skill sets to solve the problem you're asking them to solve, and they're dedicated, will run more quickly and solve more quickly that problem than any other mechanism we can think of. And so this notion of the small team, call it a pod, call it a squad, call it an agile team, whatever the label you want, is the golden way to do technology. So the question then becomes, all right, I can have a couple of these teams. I can have 2, 3, 4, 5. That's easy enough. Everybody can get 5 teams to run. The problem, if you're a mid-size or a large company, you probably have hundreds of these teams to run. In a large bank, you have 2,000. And so how do you organize 1,000 of these pods? And so the organization concept becomes really quite important so that these teams continue to have a clear direction, autonomy in the way that they deliver on this direction, but they don't step over each other reinventing the wheel. And so how you organize them to get at scale is a critical question, which doesn't happen on day one. On day one, learn how to run a few of these cross-functional teams, 2, 3, 4, 5. Problem, let's call it the first level problem. Second level problem, once you've mastered the first level, is how do I get 20, 50, 100 of these teams? And now you need to find a new organizational model to do that.
And your book, Rewired, the McKinsey Guide to Outcompeting in the Age of Digital and AI, in that you talk about the importance of technology for speed and distributed innovation. So with that in mind, how can companies construct a distributed technology environment that does empower teams to quickly assemble solutions from existing software and those data building blocks?
Yes. So this is this idea, right, that you're not going to be calling IT to ask for a piece of technology that please come and deploy in my business. You as a business leader in whatever, supply chain or head of sales or head of operations, you're going to have these pods. You're going to have 3, 5, 10 of these pods that are going to work in your unit, and they're going to be developing the technology solutions to help you improve the performance of your unit. And so this notion that, and that's the first element of this distributed nature of innovation, it's not everybody is inside IT and you call IT for something. No, we explode that. Yeah. And the technologists find their way inside the business, working alongside business people and operations people to invent the technology solutions that will solve these problems in each one of these areas of the business. So the first nature of distribution is sending the people to where the problems are and where the business leadership is, number one. And number two, if you're going to do that, you need to equip those teams to be able to do their job. And so if you're working in one of these teams as a data engineer, software developers, what do you need? Well, I need my software tools. I need access to data. I need to be able to access features that other teams have developed so I don't reinvent them. All of that capacity to consume data and features that are located somewhere else in the organization requires some thoughtfulness in the way that you make this information available. And so what's known in tech language as APIs becoming a very important architectural element that enables this distributed innovation. If you don't have APIs, you don't have distributed innovation. It's not possible because you're not making it possible for these teams to do their job and innovate, because they always need to call somebody else to get, please send me your data. Please send me my tools. Please send me, and then the model cannot scale. It works at 5 pods, doesn't work at hundreds.
100% with you on that. And I think we've been saying for years and years now that data is the new oil. And now more than ever, it's evidently a cornerstone of this digital era and the AI era. And businesses are challenged with removing silos, improving quality, bringing that data together to avoid that garbage in, garbage out scenario, which they all dread. So What are some of the key considerations for businesses when architecting data for quality, enrichment, and reuse, etc.?
And I think we're going to talk about that even more with Gen AI. And so how do I, as a company, this time I bring unstructured data, recordings in the contact center, videos from online experience. So the exploitation, unstructured data becomes really the name of the game. So yes, data, if there's one really important concept in this book, is this idea of data products. So what exactly is a data product? Most organizations today have created a data lake, which is essentially I ingest data from my different core systems, from my ERP, from my HR systems, from my product system, and I bring that data in the lake. But once the data is in the lake, it's not necessarily that much easier to consume for the hundreds of teams I've been talking about. Because where is it in the lake exactly? Who do I call? And so there's another intermediary layer that gets built called data products. So data products are highly curated and easy to consume sets of data. The best example of a data product is what's called Customer 360. So for each customer, I've got all the information about that customer, what they bought, at what price, where do we ship it, how big is their company? I mean, whatever information you have about your customer is information that always gets used in, AI and digital application. And so since I'm going to have a lot of teams that need this data, I'm going to make it easy for those teams to consume. So I create a data product, which is highly curated. The data is clean and the data has API access so that it can be easily consumed. And this way I move from the data lake, which becomes a bit of a mess for everybody to try to consume from, to a more curated form of the data. I don't try to do that for all my data. That'd be too expensive, too complicated. I do it for the highly frequently used data elements that are feeding many aspects of my business, my AI applications. And so this notion of introducing data products as a way to really make it easy to consume across the organization is where the next big improvements are going to be.
And the speed of change is happening so quick at the moment, but at that exact same time, businesses are being challenged to do more with less because of the economic climate at the moment, and tech projects as a result are under close scrutiny for the ROI and the kind of value that they offer. So what are the keys to unlock value, would you say, and what should companies do when their digital solutions fail to deliver on that full value, and how can they overcome some of these challenges?
Yes, I give a couple of examples here to bring that challenge to life.
Yeah.
If you're running a bank and you've developed a fantastic banking app that you and I can use when we do our banking, it's phenomenal. We don't need to show up at the branch anymore, right? Because we can do all of our banking online. Well, it's worth making that investment in the banking app, of course, for the customer experience that it provides, but also you would hope you would reduce your unit costs because you don't need to run a large branch network anymore. Who's going to reduce the level of staffing or the number of branches that are needed if people no longer show up at the branches? If you ask the head of the branch network, please go reduce the number of branches and the number of people you have in your branches, that person will say, Eric, that makes no sense. I'm paid for growth and I'm paid to actually generate sales. You're asking me to reduce my headcount. I'm not going to do that. And there is one of the fundamental problem of digital and AI transformation, which is you do something on one side, but you cannot fully reap the benefit until you've aligned everybody along that system. So in this case, I'm creating a fantastic app. On the other side, I actually need to make sure that people are accountable for capturing the productivity benefits that we were supposed to capture. And that's the stuff that doesn't get done with AI. It tends to be viewed as a siloed job. Everybody in their job deploys technology versus an end-to-end process. And in this example, the customer kind of coming in, buying a product, being serviced, all of that needs to be optimized in an end-to-end way. And this is where it breaks down. And so the hard truth about AI and digital is that it doesn't stop at technology. That's half the problem. creating the technology. The other half is actually realigning the processes, the incentives, retraining people so that you can actually capture the full potential.
And much of what we're talking about here today can be found in much more in-depth detail in your book, Rewired, the McKinsey Guide to Outcompeting in the Age of Digital and AI. But I'm curious, what inspired you to share all these insights, get these ideas out of your head, the conversations that you've been having? And who would you say would benefit most from reading it?
Yes. Well, one of the core reason why we wrote this book is after all these years visiting different management teams, we found that we could never be successful in getting a top team productively on this journey if we did not provide them an opportunity to level set their knowledge about technology. So we just spoke about a bunch of concepts in the last 10 to 15 minutes. Those are pretty important concepts that everybody on the top team, if you want them to be aligned, they have to know about. And so there's 10 hours of learning here. That's very important. 10, 15, pick your number, but 10 hours where a management team needs to be willing to invest the time to learn together and come with the same mental model of what different concepts mean. And so we found ourselves always at the beginning having to invest that 10 hours with that team. And we said, okay, there's got to be a better way. And there's got to be many, many other teams that we don't touch that would benefit from this. It's going to be in this book. So the 10 hours of learning that a management team, we believe the three authors should be learning is basically this book. And so that's the reason why we wrote it, to just help the clients we have and also all the ones that could benefit from it to create that initial acceleration for their team.
Awesome. And a quick question before I let you go today. If there was a book or song that means something to you that we can leave everyone listening, I've got a Spotify playlist, I've got an Amazon wish list. Is there something that has inspired or impacted you? What would you like to leave everyone listening with today?
So I'll pick a book.
Yeah.
When I joined the firm 29 years ago, a book had just come out. It is still called Valuation. And it is a very classic book in finance that explains how companies create value. And I was coming from an engineering background. I had very little grounding in the world of business. And I read that book just before joining the firm. And it actually provided me that foundational element I needed to have to just start productively in my new job and in the world of business. And when we went down this journey to write Rewired, our inspiration for Kate, Rodney, and I, the three co-authors, who all came around the same time in the firm, was that book. We wanted to write a book that would do for a lot of people what it did for us. And so Valuation is not a novel. The Valuation is more of a guidebook, just like we're hoping Rewired is also going to be, but not to the world of finance, but to the world of technology. And so that's the inspiration behind our book.
Fantastic. Well, I'll add your book and the book you recommended to our Amazon wish list. And for anyone listening, just wanting to find out more information about anything we talked about today, is there anywhere you'd like to point everyone?
You can write. Just Eric Lamarre Eric _Lamarre at McKinsey.com. Awesome. We're always happy to, and of course, there's lots of material on our website under Rewired and McKinsey, and so there are case studies and there's a whole bunch of other stuff if people want to go deeper. So that's where I would point them.
Fantastic. Well, again, thank you for joining me on the podcast today. I love how Rewired is helping to guide CEOs and the C-suite and any leader, in fact, that's responsible for shaping and executing their company's digital transformation on those big topics right now, from Gen AI to the transformation roadmap, tech talent, agility, keys to unlocking value, and so much more. But thank you for taking the time to share that with me today.
Neil, thank you for having me.
What a great conversation that was. A huge thank you to Eric for diving into this fascinating world of generative AI, the importance of talent development, and how to maintain agility in operating models. And most importantly, for exploring how to assemble solutions from existing software and data building blocks, and the importance of a thoughtful data architecture That is possibly the most important line. If you put garbage into AI, you're going to get garbage back out. And I think there were lots of insights as well from Eric's book, Rewired. And if you're interested in digital transformation, how to succeed in this rapidly evolving landscape, I do recommend you check that out. But as this episode comes to a close, a big thank you to Eric for his valuable insights and sharing his experiences. And for you listening, I want to hear more from you. Email me, techblogwriter@outlook.com, Twitter, LinkedIn, Instagram, @NeilC.Hughes. Connect with me. Send me a direct message. Tell me your thoughts, your experiences. Ask questions. Want to come on the show, whatever it is. But that's it for today's episode. So a huge thank you to Eric, and even bigger thank you to each and every one of you for tuning in. Hopefully you'll all join me again tomorrow. But thank you for listening as always, and until next time, don't be a stranger.